Hello, welcome back to part 3 on how we create a truss in Comasis. This is a manual way where you use the construction lines as a guideline. First of all, you define, you lay out how the truss looks using lines so that you follow the lines to place the steel. And on the part 1, I showed you how you can use also the macro to create your truss. So let's first of all learn on the manual way, then later on I'll show you, though briefly I had showed in part 1 on how you can create truss using a macro. Now, on the part 3, we've laid all the steel on the layout of line construction we created. Now this time I want just to show you how you can comb further the arrangement of steel we've just placed here. Now at the bottom chord here, we have a single L profile. So we want it to be a back-to-back steel, a back-to-back steel, or a twin member. So I'll double click on this member here. So the moment you click on this member here, this will bring a dialog box where we will be able to find the steel catalog. But we don't want to go to steel catalog because all the steels has been arranged. Now what we want to do just to arrange them properly. So at the bottom chord here, I want twin member of L profile, and I'll go ahead and click apply. So if I click on empty screen here, you can see I have a twin member back to back, placed back to back. Let me just pick my point of interest and click on the right button and turn around. So you see this member have been changed to a twin or back to back. Now I'll do the same member on the top chord. I'll also double click on that and change this to twin option, and I'll click apply and give it an OK. You can see that, but the way it has been arranged is not my preferred way, so we'll have to rotate it so that the back end comes up, because this way you will not be able to place the cleats that will be attached to the pallets. So I'll select on this member, then press Ctrl Q and turn that. Just press Ctrl Q repeatedly and turn that around so that this will find itself on the best position, on the best position of our preference. So you can see that how it looks. So this is okay now. So if I come all the way, if I end here, you can see the arrangement here. You can see the arrangement here. And at the bottom chord also you can see that. Perfect. Now the part we are moving to is now the internal vertical arrangement of this steel. So if I double click here, you'll be able to see at the bottom, inward here, we have 45 by 45 by 4 millimeter thick. So I want to arrange this steel in a way that when I start connecting them using gusset plates, it will not land me into trouble, or everything should be working properly, or seen as professionally done. Now I'll select on this member, and now to rotate to place this member in line with this particular construction line, I'll use the control keys that follows: Control Q, Control W, and Control E. The three keys will help me to arrange this steel into these lines. So I've selected on this member, and I want the back end to be in line with this particular line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press Control E and to take it inside. So to see it, you'll be able to see it's now inside. It's now almost aligning itself with this line. You can see that, but though it is at the edge. So I want this line to be at the middle, but slightly at the middle back of this member. So I'll press Control after selecting that member, Control W. Control W once again until find it in that spot. So this is the arrangement I was telling you. Now I'll come back here and press Control the three keys, Control Q, Control E, Control W. So you can see it's slightly far away from this line. So I want it to be close to that line. So I'll come here and press Control Q. Control Q will not work for us. You just press Control W it will go there. Press Control W once again, Control W, there it is, and it's still slightly away from where we want it to be on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select on it, then press Control E. So if I press Control E, it's slightly right there, but Control W will make it slightly at the middle. So you see the center lines are matching right at the construction joint we created at the bottom end here. So exactly that's what we want to do now. I'll come here and do the same here, though it might take long, but this is good work, a good practice. So I'll do the same here. I'll press Control once I've selected this member and I want to align it at the bottom end here. We make sure everything is done to the best details possible. So I'll select on that member, press Control Q. Control Q will not work for us, so press Control E. Then Control W, then Control E. So if I click on that, I can see my member is in line, but slightly off the point of the construction line. So I'm going to select on it once again and press Control W. So it will bring it to the middle. I'll do the same thing here. Press select on that member, then press Control W right there, then press Control E right there. Press Control W once again to bring it inside. So on this section, we now will go to Control Q to rotate this member. We want the back end to be this side. So we'll turn that round here. You can see that. So we'll press Control E to take it inside, and then press Control W once again. So you can see that it has brought itself in the best position of our preference. So also we do want to do the same thing here. I'll select on that member first, then press Control W once again, then E, then there we are. So we'll do the same to the rest like that. In here we'll press Control W, Control Q like that, then Control W, and Control E right there. I'll do the same thing here. Control E, Control E, Control W, then Control E. Then I'll press that member once again. I'll press Control Q, Control W right there, Control E, and press Control E once again, and it's there. So that's the arrangement I was talking about. I select on that member once again. I'll press Control E, then Control W, then Control E, then W again. So we're inside there. So this is how I want this to be arranged, so that when I start placing the gusset plates, the connection will not be an issue. So I'll select on that once again, press Control Q, then Control E, Control W, W again, then E, E again, there we are. Select on that, Control W, E, then E again, then W. So that's the best arrangement we can do now. Press Control W, then E right there, we have it placed. Press Control Q, and we want that to be inside like that, and you take it down by Control W. And come here and then just press Control Q so we can turn that round. Press Control W once again, Control Q, and we have that in place. So you'll come back, you'll come here and press Control W, Control, then Control Q. I'll select on that, Control Q once again, Control Q, then Control E, and then W once again. So that's how we'll arrange that. And this also will take it in by Control E, then Control W again. I'll come back here and select on that. So to arrange that, first of all, change this. I'll press Control Q. I want the back end to face me on this end. So I'll press Control E, then Q twice. Then I'll do the same thing here. Press Control E, then W again W, then we'll do the same thing, Control Q, then E once again, then W, then W. We'll do the same arrangement here, press Control E, take it inside, then W, then W. We're done. Press Control Q, we need the back end, press Control E, then W, and W. I want it to follow this construction line so that you see we have all of them are meeting at this construction joint here. We've just created manually. So you can see that also, you can see this also, you can see this also. So this is what I'm trying to define or detail so that we have it done, so we have this done, so we have this done. This one we want to do now. Select Control Q, so we need the back end, Control E and Control W right there. Do the same thing, Control E, Control W twice, then we are there. So we have this done. So if you come here now and select everything here and rotate this, you can be able to see we have our truss already. One side have been already defined with full members already in place. So the next thing we are going to do is just to mirror this the other end. So how do we mirror that? Because this point is not the exact mirror point. So if we mirror this way, it may protrude to the other end. So let me just try that. Right click and come to Special Copy and pick on linear. So I want to define this point as my mirror line. Then I'll click on that spot. If I come to Options here and click that Run, I'll be able to see my truss has been completely done. So it's okay. We can use this as our mirror line, but you can see the clash. So this is what I was trying to avoid. So the next thing I'm going to do away with this. So I'm going to click Undo. So the moment I click Undo, I'm going to define a different mirror line. So to define a different mirror line, I'm going to use this mirror here, this line here to define my mirror line. So that one I have to rearrange or to reorient my XYZ plane. So I'll come to View, then pick on More Options and pick to Surface, and I want to place my XYZ plane maybe on that surface. So once I've done so, I'll select everything here. And get rid of this column by pressing Control or Shift, pressing Control and select on that to remove that column. So once I've defined this by changing the XYZ plane location or arrangement or orientation, I'll right click and come to Special Copy and pick on Linear. So I'll make this as my mirror line here. I'll try to find a snapping point. I'll snap on that spot, then zoom closer, then I'll snap on that spot. So this is my mirror point or my mirror line. I'll come to Options here and click Run and see whether it will work better. Still, it is not working to the expectations of our preference. So you can see this far end is protruding to this far end. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just right click. I'm just going to undo this. So the key here, the key point here is just to mirror this line to the other end. How do we do that? I'll come here, select everything, turn this round like that. I'll come closer. And turn that. So you can see if we use this mirror line, it will be combined, but not the best option. Not the best option. So we are going to define a mirror point between the edge of these particular members. So I'll come to Points, I'll come to Edit and pick on Points. So I'll pick on a point here. Let me just first of all place a point. I'll place a point right there. and turn this far end, I want to rotate this gently and come to point. I'll pick on the point and create a point right there. So between these 2 points, I want to create a midpoint. So in here, I'm going to select a dividing point, and prior to that, I want to turn that round so that I'll be able to see, or I can just change the view type. Maybe I can change the view type here, and I can change the view mode to maybe wireframe. So in here, I'll be able to see this. I'll snap on that spot and snap on the other end just to create a midpoint between the surfaces. So if I come here and terminate that there, I'll be able to still get the midpoint as that location. So for now, let me just bring it back to change the draw board to contour, and I'll have that. Let me just first of all select everything there, then press Control and terminate that. Now, our XYZ plane is not on the global position, so we will change that to that position. So I'll right click and come to Spatial Copy and pick on Mirror. Once again, we have a mirror line in this location. But still, if we run the option of run, if we run the option, we'll find it exceeding what we expected. But at the top here, they're meeting at the right location. So what do we need to change here? That's on the right position, and this also on the right position. This also on the right position. So there's a slight error, and we need to correct that. We need to correct that. So let's check the position of that member, and let's check the position of this member. So first of all, I've showed you how we can mirror this, and this one, let's talk about it on the next part, where I'll show how we can actually mirror it accurately. So don't forget to subscribe. This is Morris Gimba, and let's meet then. Bye bye.